Jim Morrison. You ever wonder what a rock legend looks like before the legend part kicks in? Picture this. It's November 1965. The Doors aren't icons yet. They're just four dudes playing frat parties and backyard weddings, hoping anyone will notice them. No big crowds, no fame, no mystique. Just covers of Louie Louie and Gloria on repeat, with a few weird originals sneaked in when they thought it was safe. And Jim Morrison? The guy who'd later hypnotize stadiums with his voice. Back then, he could barely look the audience in the eye. He hardly sang at all. Ray Manzarek, the band's keyboardist, was doing most of the vocals. Jim? He'd chime in with the occasional harmonica riff or toss out a grunted, "Yeah," like a guy testing the mic at karaoke night. It wasn't much, but it was something. Then came a gig that felt like a baby step forward. Friday, November 5th, 1965, the band played on a small boat cruise in Los Angeles, a modest party thrown by the Pioneer Club. Not exactly Woodstock, but it was different. New faces, a new vibe. They weren't playing for frat bros anymore. It mattered. Still, something crucial was missing. A bass player. Club after club turned them down. Too weird, they said. Too experimental. And, wait, you don't have a bassist? Forget it. They tried auditioning musicians, but it never clicked. According to Ray, every bassist they met just played too much. Nobody got what they were going for, something stripped down, hypnotic, almost eerie. And then, during yet another failed audition, Ray spotted it. A Fender Rhodes piano bass, perched on top of a Vox Continental organ. Just sitting there, waiting to be noticed. He flipped the switch, played a few notes, and something just clicked. That was it. That sound, clean, moody, minimal, that was their missing piece. "We found our bass player," Ray said. Only this one didn't need a seat on stage. The foundation of the Doors' signature sound had finally fallen into place. A month later, on December 8th, Jim turned 22. Something inside him shifted. He started bringing in these ragged pieces of paper, some napkins, some receipts, scrawled with wild, poetic lines. His voice, once shaky and unsure, started growing stronger. You could hear it, confidence bubbling underneath all that nervous energy. And the band? They were sharpening their edge. A few days earlier, on December 3rd, they played a New Year's Eve party hosted by the ultra-rich Krieger family. It wasn't glamorous, but it was loose, fun, alive. They took requests, talked to people, played like they had nothing to lose. And then Jim, in one of those totally bizarre Morrison moments, flipped a quarter into the air at midnight, caught it with his mouth, and swallowed it. Just because. His strange tribute to being a human jukebox. Then, early January 1966, another private gig, this time at the home of an LA socialite named Louise Marvin. Nothing huge. But again, it moved the needle. Another little step. But the big leap came on Friday, February 11th, 1966. The Valley Teen Center in Venice, California. Their first real show. That gig gave them the guts to audition for the London Fog, a grimy little club on the Sunset Strip with barely enough space to dance. The owner, a guy named Jesse James, seriously, wasn't impressed at first. So the band packed the house with friends from UCLA, told them to scream like the Beatles just walked in. It worked. They landed the house band gig. 5 nights a week, 5 sets a night, from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., all for $10. But by night 2, the crowd vanished. Gone. Poof. The only people left were the regulars. Some guy in a suit, a drunk sailor, a lonely prostitute, maybe 2. And of course, Rhonda Lane, the go-go dancer in the cage, awkwardly gyrating to this brooding, trippy music that no one knew what to do with. It sounds like a joke, but it was perfect. Because in that weird half-empty club, night after night, the Doors got tight. Really tight. No pressure, no expectations, just hours and hours to figure it out. Jim still faced the back wall most of the time, barely acknowledging the crowd. He was nervous, unsure, maybe even convinced he didn't belong up there. He'd knock back drinks just to walk on stage. But slowly, almost painfully, he grew into the role. that dingy club, that forgotten chapter on the Sunset Strip. It was their laboratory, their training ground. And without it, Jim Morrison might have stayed that shy poet in the shadows, never the wild, unpredictable force of nature we remember today. Even people who were there back then didn't think much of them. One club-goer recalled that they just weren't very good yet. Jim's behavior? Straight up odd. But that's the beauty of it. He wasn't trying to be a star. He was trying to survive the stage. And that's the thing no one tells you about legends. They don't show up fully formed. They stumble. They bomb. They mumble lyrics and forget chords and hide behind sunglasses. But if they get a safe place to fall, somewhere to experiment, to suck, to grow, that's where the magic begins. By the time the spotlight found the doors, they were ready. But the world never saw the long, lonely hours that made them that way. So next time you hear "Light My Fire," remember, it didn't start with a roaring blaze. It started with a whisper, a handful of nobodies playing to nobody at all. If you found this story as wild and weirdly inspiring as I did, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, and keep the music alive.